Indifference. So, really, just what is indifference? It's a rather broad thing. According to the dictionary, indifference is the lack of interest in or concerning about something. My definition is dehumanization of people and just not caring. It's just that, I could not care any less that such and such insert group of people here have been massacred. Example of indifference. And so my indifference. When am I indifferent? How am I indifferent? When am I not indifferent? So I'm an introvert. So I can't stand being around people for a very long time. I can't juggle. I can't juggle all of the different personalities, opinions, and viewpoints, and just nuances of interacting with other people. So that, and also I have enough problems of my own that I don't need any other people's problems. So basically, I'm just indifferent in that I try not to care about anything because I don't need any more problems. I'm just like, go away, people. Just please stop annoying me. I don't want you to care. So, when am I not indifferent? There's one thing that no matter how socially impaired I am, that I cannot be indifferent towards. And it's death. Especially when it comes to loved ones. When someone comes up to me and just, or hear someone's, so insert, random dead relative's name here, or just relative, has died, I understand what they're going through, unlike most people my age. Because most people at school, when you say, oh, my father died, they're there, there's a second of shock, and just oh, and what? And then they always say, oh, I'm so sorry, because it sounds so empty, because they don't know how or what they could say to someone who just goes up to you and says, oh yeah, my dad died exactly a year ago or something, and you're just like, what? Oh, I'm so sorry. And then they give you this look that's just the kind of expression you get when you look at those animal rescue shelter commercial things, but it kind of is a little bit insulting between all the receiving end of those, because you're like, thanks for the concern and stuff, but I know you really don't care, and you're saying that because you're kind of in shock right now. But stop looking at me like I'm a beaten up puppy. So why did I choose this text, which is Memiors of Geisha? I chose it mainly because I knew I had a copy of the book, so I didn't have to go out of my way to buy it, or find it, or rent it, or check it out from the library. And I knew it was a good book, because my mother and little sister had both read it, but I hadn't, and they loved it, and my little sister was always like, Elizabeth, read this book. So, and it was way more, creative than just doing Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I heard a lot of classmates talking about doing. And I was just like, I'll just go and do that. So, my perspective before on geishas, which is my topic, is, I had a typical American, idea on what a geisha was. Because the typical, and that view is that geishas are prostitutes, and they're just fancy prostitutes. But the thing is that they're not. But that whole idea was its roots are in the fact that during the occupation of Japan by America after World War II, Japanese prostitutes would call themselves geishas when talking to American soldiers who were there. So soldiers associated the word geisha with being a prostitute, and therefore geisha equals prostitute in American eye. But then after reading, I kind of realized that that's not really what a geisha is, because I get what a geisha, because geisha, it's just the word. If you break it apart, it comes from the Japanese gei, G-E-I, from like American spelling, and that means art, and then sha, which means person. It's basically art person or artist. So basically, they're just artists of entertainment, and what they do is they entertain men but it's not sexually. They entertain them just by dancing or singing or just talking, and or do tea ceremonies, and just basically just being artists of entertainment, but not in a sexual way. Their job isn't to go do that sort of entertainment. So it's kind of is tarnishing on such a cultural aspect of Japan, because the geishas they're rather historical, and and also they wear traditional style clothing, and the geisha districts today, basically the areas that basically are just geisha districts, they're like little time capsules. You see, it's like not uncommon to see women, just actual geishas. At least if you're in Kyoto and Gion, which is actually where Memiors of Geisha is set. So then, connections. So there are actually quite a few connections between me and Chiyo, or Sayuri, who's the main character of Memiors of Geisha, and that we both have lost a parent, at least one, and then moved. For Sayuri, it was, her mother was dying technically, and hadn't died yet, but her mother was dying, and her father was old, and so he decided, I'm just gonna sell my kid into a practical slavery, or actually both of his kids, but then that led to Sayuri, then moving, losing her mom and moving, or just suddenly, which for me, I lost my dad, and then I moved from Colorado to Tennessee. So, So, what now? What am I going to do about all of this? Well, sadly, there's nothing really for me to do to help the ignorant masses with their lumping together of prostitutes and geishas. For I'm just a white teenage American girl who's trying to manage her own issues without trying to inform the world of the true meaning of what it means to be a Japanese geisha. So, I really truly can't help it, being that even trying would make me look like a complete weeaboo and weirdo. So, no. So then, how will I prevent the dangers of indifference? Well, in a way, we're all indifferent, to some extent, to the thoughts and feelings of all people, for we are all confined in our solitary minds. I really am a lazy and distant piece of introverted trash that has the social stamina of a cat. I truly don't think it's possible to change the vital part of the lazy room hermit I am. So, sadly, I'm a lost cause. Although I'm not a dangerous form of indifference, I'm just indifferent to the world in a rather passive way, as long as it doesn't involve death. And I'm done.